The thing is, the narrative that WWE got rid of R-Truth for financial reasons, like Road Dogg implies by blaming the bean counters looking to optimize every part of the spreadsheet, expect bean counters, by the way, to be a new act on AEW, doesn't hold up. Fightful writes that Truth had one of the best top-selling WWE shirts in recent weeks, with the Ron Cena design he wore at Saturday night's main event. This might be an attempt to frame the evil corporate overlords TKO as the force behind many of the tactics souring WWE in recent months. Things like these wrestler releases, the high ticket prices, running way too many shows, the counter-programming of AEW events. It's a narrative that absolves the people running WWE, Paul Levesque and Nick Khan, of responsibility, which is a technique from the Vince McMahon days. Back then, wrestlers would be released by WWE and still not blame McMahon, rationalizing that they always got on well with Vince, that Vince was always very supportive of them. But because someone else, usually the head of talent relations, was the one who directly let them go, they would blame the company, but not McMahon himself, despite McMahon, back then, literally being the company. You'd have to think that Triple H could have saved R-Truth's job if he wanted to. Thankfully, Fightful writes that the top indie promotions have already expressed interest in booking Truth, who will be able to wrestle as soon as his contract expires, rather than wait the 90-day non-compete.
Great point by Ollie there, that let's not overlook Nick Khan and Triple H in this situation, as the recent release of R-Truth, this started with the earlier releases, which I didn't think a whole lot about because WWE releases people every single year. They always did, even when TKO had nothing to do with the shit. But add in the ticket prices, add in now the release of a beloved fan favorite in R-Truth, a locker room favorite as well. There's a lot of heat on TKO right now. Let's check out what the internet has to say. Fuck you, TKO. Fuck you, TKO. Fuck to TKO. Well, at least they're typing it all out, right? They're not just copying and pasting. That's good. TKO, kindly go fuck yourself. I don't have my headphones on. Can't hear what Cena's saying there. Honestly, fuck you at TKO and fuck you at WWE. Justice for R-Truth. Hashtag already going. Hey, there's one of my shorts. Has nothing to do with this. Let's see here. Whoever is going to Raw tomorrow, which is tonight as this video goes up, make posters saying, keep R-Truth and chant his name. Hopefully this strong message gets it through to WWE and TKO's heads to keep him. Hopefully, yeah, I had that same thought. The Raw should be an absolute protest tonight. Letting R-Truth go, but keeping Logan Paul. Yeah, fuck Triple H and fuck TKO. Leave Logan Paul out of this, right? TKO has honestly ruined my love and passion for professional wrestling. Poor gorilla guy there. WrestleMania, business is business, but I feel that ever since TKO have taken over WWE, they're slowly sucking the life out of WWE and hell-bent on making a profit at any chance they can. Slowly but surely, they will make WWE into a soulless shell of what it used to be. Business is business, indeed. I totally get that part of this. A lot of people don't. TKO is a publicly traded company. They owe it to their shareholders to produce profits quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. This shit gets reviewed, and if they start losing money or they're not actively doing what they can to make more monies for the investors can sue them. They can petition to have people removed from the board. They can have people fired from WWE or TKO, Triple H, Nick Khan. Who was that? Mark Shapiro. Is that the TKO side guy? So I get it is, even though they're a $1 billion company and they can certainly afford to keep everybody, that's not realistically how businesses work. There has to be some churn. They have to let some people go. They have to have their talent budget, their roster budget at a certain price. They're not a privately held company like Tony Khan, where he can just spend whatever the fuck he wants, hire as many people as he wants. And of course, we see what that end of it looks like too, because a lot of people get to sit home and do nothing over in AEW because he has too many people under contract, to the point where people go, hey, let some of these people go. But then when WWE does it, they get mad. But R-Truth is something different. You know, there's something to be said. You know, I get that WWE is a product, and that TKO buying WWE was interested in squeezing all the juice out of that product. But it's not just the tour and the live events and the shows and stuff. The TV rights. Baked into what makes WWE the product that it is its rich history, is its legendary talent. And the names that live on forever. And you got a talent roster that has a morale level. When they see people that have been around since the Attitude Era suddenly disappear from TV, they're like, oh, he's gone now. What? He literally just had a huge feud with John Cena. Suddenly he's replaceable, I guess. He's not replaceable. There's a fine line there between making cuts and getting rid of the wrong people that are going to piss off your fans, they're going to piss off your talent, and you're actively taking away from what the fans want and appreciate. R-Truth was beloved. He's one of those guys that you go out of your way to keep on a roster because they add value both to the roster and to your television. He's not a guy you make a budget cut on. Find it somewhere else. It's those kind of decisions, enough of those wrong decisions, and they're going to start turning the fans against them again. And don't think that they won't, because these things happen in cycles. WWE, AEW was able to rise to power and become a thing because people were fed up with WWE. What happens if people get fed up with WWE again? They get fed up with the ticket prices. They get fed up with the evil billionaires just firing their favorite wrestlers. You know, there's something to be said for keeping those kind of characters around. There's people you just don't let go. It's like Dusty Rhodes' promo. It still rings true to this day. You know, people work at the factory for 30 years, and then you give them a gold watch. Like, whatever the fuck he said, right? It's like, you've been replaced by a machine, baby. There's zero respect or appreciation for the work that a guy like R-Truth has put in. And where is... as Ollie said at the beginning, where is a Triple H come into this? Where doesn't he put his neck on the line and say, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that? Unless is he one of the people making that decision? Was it him and Nick Khan going, like, they were told, hey, you got to cut so much out of the talent roster budget, and they look at everybody and they go, yeah, R-Truth is a good cut to make. Let's cut R-Truth. Oh, you mean the guy that literally was just the headline match for Saturday night's main event against John Cena? Yeah, that guy. Fuck him. What? Is it something personal? Was this a Triple H Nick Khan decision? Or was this passed down from higher ups? Because, it could go either way. I could easily see a TKO just saying, hey, you need to tighten up this budget a little bit, the talent roster budget. And then a Nick Khan and a Triple H making the decisions there. But it could have been passed down from somebody else. Either way, who spoke up for R-Truth? Why didn't anybody stand up and say, no, I'm sorry, you just don't understand. This guy needs to stay. We'll find it somewhere else. We can't cut a guy like R-Truth. It's bad for the morale backstage. Everybody loves this guy. Nobody's going to feel safe. Everybody's going to feel like their job is on the line now. I mean, if an R-Truth isn't safe, then who else is not? Isn't AJ Styles safe at this point? You got to think Maybe not so much the mid-carders, but the guys that lie between the mid-card and the world title. I pluck out an AJ Styles as an example. What about like a Finn Balor? These are guys that are potentially making a lot more money than they might be perceived as giving to the worth at the time on TV in their positions. That's scary. If an R-Truth is on the chopping block, damn near anybody could be on the chopping block. Not Cena, not Punk, not Roman, not your top guys, but what about like a Jimmy Uso? Bet you the Usos, when they were in the bloodline, got a nice fat pay bump. Now that they're broken off from the bloodline, and now that they're not even together as a tag team, Big Jim's just floating out there in mid-card land. Maybe he's making too much money now. You know what I mean? Like, this is a slippery slope. And there needs to be a balance between, yes, this is a necessary thing, even though they're $1 billion company and they can afford to hire everybody. That's not realistic as a business. Get over that. But we need to recognize that there's some people that are just untouchable, both for the morale and for just the fact that they're legacy talents. And legacy means something in WWE. They're not just a number. They're not just a piece to a machine. They are, but at some point, like, the legacy of certain characters goes into helping build that machine to what it is. And if you gut the heart out of things and the soul out of things, and you're left with just the WWE shell, the product, that's when fans will turn on it. And I think they're going to reach that breaking point with the ticket sales as well coming up, because they're getting to the point where they're near unsustainable. $40,000 for a ringside seat to SummerSlam. I don't care how good the show is. I don't care if it was literally God versus Vince McMahon. Not pretend God coming out to the Funkadactyls music, but like actual, the Lord came down from the sky. I don't know that I'm paying $40,000. I'll watch it on Peacock. Thank you. Like, it's too much, man. That's a car. That's a down payment on a house. That's a trailer or a shack or a camper or something. If you want to live a little bit more rugged, it's a roof over your head potentially. It's too much, man. They are becoming a bit soulless, a bit money driven, and they will do very well to acknowledge that their company needs to keep its heart and soul intact. Otherwise, they're not going to have a company to be able to squeeze any more juice out of. Does that make sense? Does that make goddamn sense? I don't know how else to say it. But we'll leave it there. TKO definitely walking that tight line, that high wire right now, and a few more fuck ups in AEW. AEW's just got to stand by. And a few more fuck ups. They're going to be getting a lot more talent wanting to jump back over to AEW. And the Fairweather fans are going to move back over to AEW because they're going to be pissed off at WWE. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, people are pissed about R-Truth. I hope people do protest on Raw. I hope it's loud as fuck. And I hope WWE does realize they fucked up and re-signs Killings before anybody else can scoop them up. But that's just my thought, my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts down in those comments below while you're there. Hit that subscribe button and like if you liked it. And also, if you want more of my content, or if you're interested at all, I have a book on Audible, Kindle, and on Amazon, The Gathering, A Bold Journey into the Belly of the Juggalo Underworld. It's a novel about a dude that goes to the gathering, but he hates juggalos. So it's a fun little adventure there. But with all that said, peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Yeah, thanks for checking out the video.
You can check out more great clips by hitting that subscribe button below. Yeah. While you're there, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Ooh, yeah. Did it.